What's going on, guys? This is Dan Wynn,
And Mike Glaspie.
and welcome to the Military Cash Flow. Today, we are going to be talking about Eviction Day 2020.
It's coming up, guys. It's coming up. So everybody is bringing up conversations. I know, Dan, we were talking about this earlier. There's people saying that, hey, if mortgages are being delayed by 60 days or 90 days, that means I don't have to pay rent for 60 days or 90 days. But I don't think people are truly seeing the repercussions, right? There's going to be something at the end of the tunnel. So talk to us, man. What are you hearing from some of your soldiers? What are you hearing from some of your friends about this whole event?
Yeah, so I'm sure you guys have probably seen it on social media as well. A lot of people are talking about, well, first off, let me address something. Yes, I have a mustache. I'm trying to grow it right now. This is my pandemic mustache. So I know it looks kind of weird right now, but as long as we are under this going through this pandemic, that's what I'll be growing out. It's my security blanket, if you will. I'm just growing this out. So if you're watching this on YouTube, yeah, it's my protection. I'm trying to get like Mike. I can't do all this, but I can do this at least. So that's the first thing I want to address, because I know somebody's going to say something. So that's that. All right. So yes, I'm hearing a lot on social media and a lot from my friends and other people. They're asking me, hey, this CARE Act just passed, right? This pandemic act, this $2 trillion relief just took place. And I know that, and then certain states are putting their own type of no eviction or no foreclosure on this CARE Act as well. So I know that our word on the street is that they can't evict me for 90 days. So that means I don't got to pay rent. That is false. That is not true. So what we want to do is want to talk a little bit about that, right? What actually happens if you decide not to pay rent? So yes, it is true that in most states you cannot, or in general, you just can't. Your landlord or whoever manages your property cannot evict you for the next 90 days, right? That is true. However, if you stop paying rent, then you're still going to get evicted after the 90 days. Once this hold releases up and people are in the process starts over again, you are going to get evicted, and there's going to be some serious repercussions that come with that, right? So what are some of those repercussions? If you get evicted, let's say you don't pay rent for 90 days, and when this is all said and done, in the eviction act or eviction clause or whatever, that those 90 days are up, your landlord will file a judgment against you, right? You will go to court. You'll have to you're basically going to either have to pay all the rent, all those 3 months worth of rent up front, or you're going to get sent, that money is going to get sent to collection, especially if you have any other damages. So that plus any damages are going to get sent to collection, and that affects your credit score, right? And then on top of that, you've just been evicted. So every single time you go to apply for a new place, when they run their credit check or they run their pre-screening check on you, whatever place you're trying to live at, they're going to see that stays on your credit for 7 years, man. And on average, it decreases your credit score by about 110 points or so. So that is a misconception that you can just not pay rent for 90 days.
And what's really important to understand about that is why that was set in place in the beginning, right? So the reason that the 90-day no eviction came into place was because of the health crisis at the time, right? Knowing that the economy was getting kind of out of whack, they didn't necessarily want to expose more people to what was going on. Now, who was really affected by it? It was the people that as landlords have already started evicting 30 days prior, 45 days prior. And when it finally came to a head where they was ready to be completed, this thing was passed. So those people got an additional 30, 60, 90 days. Not the people that decided all of a sudden that they don't want to pay if they could. On that same note, the stimulus package has about a $1,200 or up to $1,200 one-time check plus $500 for each one of your kids. If you guys aren't aware of all of that good stuff, go do your research. But that is meant to continue to pay bills, food, utilities, rent, right? You guys aren't going anywhere. So you ain't spending it on movies. Pay the rent. Because think about it, that
Movie
landlord
theaters are
has bills to
closed.
pay too. Yeah, yeah. Trying to buy some new clothes, trying to get new shoes, new video games. Guys, come on, pay the rent. That landlord has bills too. If you don't pay the rent and he ends up getting foreclosed on, where are you gonna go? Where you gonna go? You ain't got nowhere
So,
to go.
so that's actually perfect. That leads into to another portion of this, right? So how can we do it the right way, right? If you have been affected by this pandemic, by this outbreak, right? How do you talk to your landlord or talk to your property manager to make sure that they are aware, one, and then two, you don't get evicted on the back end of this happening.
Right.
So everybody understands, every landlord, both of us, I have tenants that are affected by this, those people that are working in restaurants, maybe where they're relying on tips, or they're working barbers, things like that, or nail salon, people working in nail salons, all those jobs that have been affected, that have essentially been deemed non-essential, right? All of them, they have no way to make money. We understand that. And those are mainly the bulk of our, at least my tenant base. That's mainly the bulk of my tenant base. So everybody understands that if you go to your landlord and let them know, hey, this was my job, you've seen my income, because most landlords verify your income and verify your place of employment, right? They'll know, all right, you're already affected by it just by looking back at your application and looking at your place of employment. So they'll understand. So they know that us as a landlord, we know that we can't evict you, but it helps if you come forth and say, hey, I'm dealing with hard times right now, obviously because of what's going on, and I can't, I'll pay what I can, but I can't pay right now. And especially given, since the stimulus check hasn't come in yet, we're likely not going to see that for at least another month, I think. It'll probably be longer than that, but I think we're not going to really see that for about a month or so, right? So given that understanding, and that most people don't have savings, and most of these people are working, most of these people are working and they may be living paycheck to paycheck, we're not going to just throw you out. We're not going to just throw you out or just immediately evict you once these 90 days are up. But by you coming forth and helping out and kind of voicing that just helps, and paying what you can, that definitely helps, right? So another thing that you can do to help yourself in this situation is have a talk with your landlord or property manager and let them know, hey, I can't pay rent, and therefore you're affected by this as well. So you can go and you can ask for a forbearance from your lender, right? If they have a government-backed mortgage, if they have a government-backed mortgage like an FHA or a VA or USDA, yeah, one of these other loan products, then they are, I think it's 60 days off top, 60 days where they can file for a forbearance given this relief act, and they don't have to pay any mortgage. So what that then does for them, it not only protects you as a tenant and helps you keep the little bit of money that you may have, right? It also allows the landlord the opportunity to keep that money as well, and to not just straight up bleed and have to worry about paying a mortgage payment that their tenants obviously cannot pay. So those are yeah, go ahead.
It's important to be proactive, really. And that's really what Dan is hitting at here. You're not sitting back and just letting things happen to you and me, woe is me. You're being proactive. So you're going to your landlord, you're going to your property management company, and you're saying, these are some of the things that I'm having an issue with. At the same time, if you guys are not aware yet, all the stimulus packages and everything else that comes into play, that's truly a first come, first serve. There are millions of people applying for these things, and they get put into a line, they get put into a queue. And so the sooner that you're doing any of this, the sooner you're going to get some sort of response or some sort of relief, if you will, right? So just keep that in mind. You have to be proactive in these times. Do it the right way, right? You do not want eviction day 2020 to land upon you, right, in the next 45 days, 60 days, 90 days, and just be like, man, I wish I would have done it the right way. Right? It can be a real thing.
And a lot of us service members out there, if you're listening, I'm assuming you're likely a service member. I think that's the base of our audience, right? So a lot of service members out there thinking like, hey man, we get paid on the 1st and 15th, so we don't got to really worry about this. How can, how does this affect me? Well, if your spouse was contributed to your income, right? To your dual income. If she worked the job at maybe a restaurant or something, or a non-essential workplace, you can still go and reach out to your landlord and let them know, hey, half of my income or a third of my income has been affected by this pandemic. So is there any way that I can maybe pay 2/3 of the rent right now, and then once we get back, we can continue paying back on schedule that way. That is an option. So just wanted to throw that out there, because if you are an E5, E6, regardless of what rank you are, if you've been affected by this, and you're maybe not you personally, but your spouse has been affected by this. She's gotten less hours and her pay has decreased. You can still go and present a case to your landlord. Understand, man, like the people that own the building that you live in, they're people like you and me. We have hearts. We're not just freaking just out to drain you dry, man. I think a common misconception, dude. Like I'm, yeah, people assume that, the people that own these apartments are like really, really old and like super, super wealthy. No, man, like we're just regular people like you, man. We're just trying to make a buck, dude. Trying to trying to do right by our family. So just understand that, and you can present these cases to your landlords and your property managers, and that they will listen. So
Absolutely, guys. So take heed to all of this. Let's avoid eviction day 2020. Let's not let it happen. All right, let's go forward and do the right thing. Be proactive in your solutions. That's it.
yes. So this is a short video. Hey, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you're watching this on YouTube, leave a comment down below. We answer those. We love the feedback. If you're watching this or if you're listening to this on podcast, make sure you hit that 5-star review. Appreciate that. And then lastly, make sure you come and join our Facebook group, our Military Cashflow Facebook group. We're at like 330 right now.
Yep.
A little over 330 service members on there that are building wealth, sharing knowledge, and creating cash flow together. And we're all about supporting each other and helping us just build wealth and grow cash flow, right? So with that, I think that's it. This is Dan Wynn
And Mike Glaspie
signing off.